at the beautiful Daejeon Arboretum, and we have some updates for you. Last week I met up with 5 Korean adoptees in Seoul, and it was the first time I've ever done this kind of event outside of the KAS meetup, which I have a previous video on. And this was super fun. We just wanted to meet up and meet other Korean adoptees.
Met in Gangnam, and then we went and got some dinner and some drinks, and we did that 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were very Korean that night. But no, it was really fun because normally I have social anxiety. I always think about like, what should I say, and you know, how are these people going to perceive me, and it didn't feel like that at all. Everyone was really laid back, and what was really interesting about the Korean adoptees is we were all within a year of being there, so all of us were pretty much fresh and new. And one of the adoptees is living with their mom, and they're actually going to be aired on a documentary that's going to take place over the course of the next 3 years on their transition and living with their mother. So I thought that was really intriguing.
Yeah, because he met his mom and he went back to the States, and he almost immediately flew back to Korea to live there, but he didn't have a place to stay. He wanted to study Korean, so he stayed with a friend for a little bit and then went and stayed with his mom that he had just met. So pretty crazy.
Another thing I thought was very interesting is all of us left behind careers. You know, some were in IT, some was in like art director, you know, I was in human resources, so we all had careers that we left behind. And I think the biggest thing is we're sacrificing, you know, all of that, all of the success that we're supposed to want, just so that we can really reunite and connect with, you know, our birth country. So over the course of the night, we basically just had fun, just, you know, interacting, drinking, and we also did karaoke. And for us, we were like stranded, so luckily we just kept hanging out.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, so we were in Seoul and we live in Daejeon, of course, so we were going to take the KTX or a bus back. I looked at my phone and it was like 12 o'clock, and the next and last bus was at 12:05, so we were pretty much screwed, and we had to wait until 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, luckily enough, Koreans know how to drink and drink for a very long time, so we did that, and then we went to some noraebang, and that pretty much wrapped out our night. And it was about 5 o'clock about that time we got on the KTX and got home to Daejeon.
Yeah, one of the games that I had never played before has to do with the soju bottle. So once you twist off a soju bottle, the cap has a little like a metal piece that's dangling off the edge. And what you do is you put a little piece of paper inside the cap, and you pass it around, and everyone flicks that little piece of metal, and whoever flicks it off, they have to take a shot. And then the second part of the game, person that wins looks at the number inside the soju cap that's covered up, and then everyone goes around and guesses to see whoever guesses the number inside the cap has to take a drink too.
Yeah.
So we played that game for hours, which I had never done before, which was super fun, and just really relax. And you know, hopefully the goal is to try to reconnect again and maybe meet up in a different city.
Yeah. Now, another update is the week before that we actually went to Seoul and went and hung out with Amanda's sisters and her younger sister's husband, and then we also had our friend Monica come over to do some translating, and that was really good.
Yeah, at first though it started off super sketchy and very uncomfortable. Reason being is we all decided that we're gonna meet outside an exit. So we meet outside the exit, I see my twin, and then the first thing she says is, "Oh, where's your friend?" And then Eric and I look at each other like, "Oh, we're not meeting until May," from what mother said. So then we were feeling uncomfortable that the expectation for my sisters was that my friend was going to come and translate, and that we could kind of have this like open dialogue. It didn't end up that way, so we all kind of walked to a restaurant. It was pretty awkward, pretty uncomfortable. We could feel some tension in the air. She was expecting a translator to be there.
They can speak some English, but they're not exactly comfortable with it, and so it can get uncomfortable.
So we went to this all-you-can-eat Reunited pork and chicken restaurant, which was really nice. We didn't do a lot of talking. At that point in time, I knew my friend actually was in Seoul the same time we were, so I was busy contacting, trying to see if there's any way that she could make it. What I'm really excited to share with you guys is I had a major breakthrough with my sisters. So let me tell you what happened. My friend Monica met up with us after we finished dinner, and we went to a local bar. And we had some terrible drinks, but it didn't matter because my friend was able to translate, and it really made a big difference. So the first thing that we really talked about is they're always thinking that I'm upset because of my facial expression, but I tried to explain through my friend that I have the resting bitch face, and it just always looks like this. It doesn't mean that I'm not unhappy. It's just I have this face.
Like this?
Yeah. Anyways, so that made a big difference, and they understood because they're the same way. I always think, oh, they look unhappy, or, what did I do wrong? Did I offend them?
Her twin sister has the exact same mannerisms and personality as Amanda, I think, except for she's way more girlish. And so her family understands that that's the same way, so they know how to interpret how Minji's feeling because they've lived with her for a long time, but they don't know how to do that with Amanda yet because they just met. And so that's kind of where some of the problems and the miscommunication comes, because they, of course, always thinks that Amanda's unhappy because of the resting bitch face syndrome.
Yes, there's a lot of interpretation, and we have to kind of read between the lines through body expressions and through emotions and all that. So we squashed that, done. The next thing that was really great to hear is that how my sister, she had to internalize a lot. Growing up, as you know, my mom was really sick, and as the eldest in a Korean family, she took care of my mom. She was there for my mom during all the turmoil of trying to look for me. At the same time, she had to take care of my sister. So that's a lot of burden. Just this year, when I came here, did she move out and have the chance to live on her own? I mean, think about that. Being, 30-something, the first time having freedom. So yeah, she made herself a little unavailable. Working in retail, it is really, really hard. And so she likes time to be by herself, and that quiet time is really important for her. So I can't knock that at all. So that was a huge breakthrough, understanding where she was coming from. In America, we don't live with our parents till we're 30 typically. We don't have the obligation.
We get out as soon as possible.
We don't have the obligation to take care necessarily of our siblings, mom, and so forth and so on, grandparents. I mean, it extends all the way through your whole family line. And so now she feels she's in a good place. She's met someone, and I can only just be happy for her. And another thing is, my little sister broke down just saying how, we all have stuff going on, to my twin sister, but it's just the way that you kind of conduct yourself. It also, that negativity spreads throughout the whole family, and she was feeling really burdened by it. And so she started crying, made me cry, it made my twin cry. I'm sure Eric was tearing up, but just having that open dialogue and to have my friend really communicating and listening really made a big difference. There was one point in the night where my twin started to cry because I had tried 3 or 4 times since I've been in Seoul to contact her to ask her, hey, can I see you in Seoul? Where do you work? Every time I reached out, she would never make herself available.
Want to bring her coffee, want to bring her flowers, and just never get a response.
So it just got to the point where I kind of gave up, but I finally was able to communicate to my twin through my friend that, hey, I wanted just to make your day. I wanted to bring you coffee or bring you food or bring you flowers just to say that I'm here for you, and I know you're going through a lot, but you're not going through it alone, and I can feel your pain. And so after that was communicated, my twin was crying, and for me, I'm not very emotional, so I didn't know what to do. I didn't really console her. I was just kind of in my own space, but I had really wanted to.
And she's not very emotional either, and we've never seen her cry before, which is crazy. So this was a big breakthrough, I think.
Yeah. We really wish the night we could have hung out more, but at the end of the day, it was the perfect timing. We spent about 4 hours communicating. It went by so quick. It would have been nice to have done more, but we already had our tickets booked, and then we all kind of made plans hey, in the future, let's do some other stuff. We invited him to Daejeon. There's a really famous restaurant here that we wanted to take him to and have our friend Monica communicate. And then we have plans next month to get together all as a family and to just kind of see each other. I haven't seen my dad for 3 or 4 months, so it'd be really nice to get the whole family together.
Because it almost seems like whenever we go there, he's just not around or makes himself scarce, but we actually found out that he's starting to do some farming. So he's living in a different city than
his hometown, actually.
He's living in his hometown, and he's doing some farming. So he's got a little a farming shack that is pretty much his bachelor pad, and he's just hanging out by himself doing farming stuff.
Yeah, and I learned, which is really sad, that when my dad goes to visit his hometown, he's there for a week or 2 weeks at a time. He's farming, so you have to be there, but my mom doesn't want to go, but actually she ends up being really lonely, so it makes me sad, and I want to spend more time. So hopefully we'll have more videos of us doing stuff and working on the language. But we wanted to share with you all the updates and kind of just let you know things are definitely moving in the right direction.
Yeah. I think that's about all today. We're just going to continue to enjoy the beautiful Arboretum in Daejeon.
Bye.
Bye. They're so adorable.